Hello everyone and welcome back. It has been a while, but your Wisemen of Wrestling are back together.
We are still alive.
We are.
Slightly inebriated.
Indeed. Some people, not myself for once, have had a tipple or two. It is late in the evening, that's okay.
It's Mania season, baby.
It is indeed. Some very quick things to address. Our stable of 4, we have kicked someone out. We are now a stable of 3. The classic way of going. But here we are. We are back. We are ready. And as Ollie said, we are talking all things WrestleMania 41.
We are Evolution.
WrestleMania.
Point 2.
Indeed we are. To clarify, the stable, not the pay-per-view, because we're the wrong gender.
Well, this is...
Did you just assume my gender?
How dare you? How dare you? Look at what I'm wearing, and you're assuming a gender right now. That is disgusting.
For those, obviously, which is all of you that can't hear,
Well, C? Do you mean C?
Mr. EK, he is only what I can describe as... Scenified, indeed.
He has been transformed into a John Cena wannabe.
He literally has the last time is now red headband on with his curtain haircut all around.
And he's got the wristbands on as well.
I do have the wristband.
Very...
And John Cena top. And I'm wearing jorts. Without even realising.
And you know what the funny about this is? You can't see him.
No one can see me.
Ironically, I can't really tell, right, if it is tennis player chic or if it is just a really shit imitation of an early noughties / late 90s boy band.
I think it comes from the fact that I could work from home today, so I could wear what t-shirt I wanted.
Fair enough.
Had a few video calls, but all anyone could see was I was wearing a red top, so it didn't matter which one I was wearing.
Fair enough. Right.
Fair enough.
Anyway, on to today's topic.
Enough of the shitty banter.
So, as I said,
Shitty banter. Thank you very much, youngster.
As I said, we shall be talking WrestleMania 41. Specifically, we're going through our predictions for the card. Now, what we've done is we've gone through match by match. It will be 2 points for each correct result, 0 points for the wrong result, and shock horror, I'm going to win.
I don't think so. Looking at some of these predictions, mate. I don't think so.
I think, seeing some of your predictions...
I think Elliot's going to be the loser looking at some of these predictions.
Excuse me, shite.
That is so disgustingly wrong.
You've always got the worst opinions.
Well, that is just not true.
Actually, I thought we kicked the worst opinions out.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now we have good opinions.
That's true.
Or slightly better.
We have good opinions.
Slightly better, and then Grandpa.
We have good opinions, and we and then we have my elite opinions.
Alas!
Well,
that's the wrong company.
Hold on a second. I just want to make one point clear to the listeners right now.
That you're gay?
Yes, we have listeners.
I think my girlfriend would be in a bit of an issue right now if that was the situation. You stupid dickhead. So, one thing we need to make perfectly clear before we go through all of our answers right now is the fact that there can be no cheating this time because Jay-Z has had to put his answers in beforehand and cannot amend them at the time.
Can I just say this is libel, and if I need to, I will take it to court. I did not cheat. I was not told that I had to finalise my predictions before they came out of my mouth, and therefore I was fine to change them on the fly. However, I will admit, we have written down predictions today, so it's a different ballgame altogether.
Yes, written up by me in an uneditable fashion. Well, I can edit it, you can't.
Pretty much like the podcast to begin with.
So, without further ado...
just for clarification, we are recording this on the 11th of April before SmackDown. So there's one match where it's iffy as who's actually going to be in it.
Well, and so there could be a few others that will be eventually announced, but who knows? But yes, go on before you smack me on the face.
Well,
carry on.
I might chop you, give you a good chop.
Oh god, well it is a big chest, so it would probably hurt very much.
It's tiny. In any case, Ollie,
done with that.
Let's move on. Round 1, the first match. What is the match that we're going to talk about?
So we're going to start with night 1. We've got 3 matches that we know that are on night 1. And why not start big? We're going to start with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns taking on Seth, no longer freaking Rollins, versus Mr. CM Punk. Or I like to call it Paul Heyman on a pole match.
Nice. I'm going to be very honest with this one. I'm going to kick this one off, shock horror. I think Seth's winning it. And not only do I think Seth is winning it, I have now been totally convinced by multiple people, including my own brain, including Mr. Nipple, who is on my right. And also, I have to say, I was watching Bubba Ray's podcast and it did come up. I think not only is Seth winning, I actually think if Hunter is clever, which he is, and we know he is, the biggest shock value here is that Seth not only wins, but even if Paul's not in his corner to start with, and he does go with Punk to start with, despite Seth wanting his favour, I think Heyman pulls the trigger, he aligns himself. I think it makes sense. You know, you look at Reigns, bona fide star now, doesn't really need him anymore, let's be honest, especially with the others around him. You look at Punk's meteoric in already, as much as I don't agree with his personal views on stuff. He's a stratospheric star when it comes to wrestling. And I think with Seth, the way that you look at Seth at the moment, you know, he is a star, but I think things have petered out a bit for him. I think it's a bit stale at the moment. I don't really enjoy it anymore. Even when we were at the live recordings, didn't really care for his song being sung that loudly for that long. So
You still sang along.
Yeah, I still sang.
Absolutely.
I had every intention not going to.
I mean, I have
but as soon as it
recordings to
happened-
prove he sung along.
no, absolutely, I did, but
We will
it's
share such
not.
recordings.
It's just not like I don't think it's working for him at the moment, and I think he's a star, but I don't think he's a stratospheric star at the top of the company. And I think if you look at Heyman and you look at the work that he's done, he takes people there, and I think it probably makes sense as well to have him with Seth for a little while, whilst Paul is also working backstage with people like Bron Breakker to eventually then help them, pardon the pun, break out onto that
And
top
Paul Heyman
level.
said he wants to help Bron Breakker, so.
Exactly. Anyway, that's my prediction. Over to you, Grandpa.
I actually regret putting my prediction because Seth now does make sense, but I have gone for CM Punk only because
Ooh, interesting.
the only reason I went my thinking of it, I do now totally regret this and wish I could do a Jay-Z and change my answer on the fly, but I can't. But
Should we give everyone one mulligan?
No, just because you want one.
No, I don't actually. I'm very happy with my
Well, I
predictions,
just
to be
this is
honest.
the only-
right.
this is-
no, because you know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, there'll be one of them where you'll be so convinced by someone else that you'll be like,
No,
can I use my one change, please?
this is literally the only one of my predictions I now feel like I want to change. But my reason for I dropped a head way there. For CM Punk is because I feel like with the way the story is going with the favour and everything like that, it seems to be going in Punk's favour. But I do regret putting that choice, and Rollins is the right choice. He is getting stale, and with the whole all the laughing and stuff.
Oh, awful. The
And
outfits,
the outfits.
awful.
He needs.
He's a
I want
budget
the
joker.
Seth Rollins heist of the century. I want heist of the century Rollins back. That Rollins was the best Rollins,
Yes,
and I want
would,
him
I would.
back.
I would agree with that.
and I think him winning there would be a good start because it would be a shock factor. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be Rome." Clearly, it's going to be Rome. He's the man. He's the OTC.
I am so convinced, and I've been convinced for at least about 3 or 4 weeks now, that Seth is winning this. And there's 1, 2, 3 main reasons realistically. First one is I think Paul will screw the others and make it, and you know he will win. I'm even more convinced now, considering his promo this week, considering how he owes him a favour, so he will cash that favour in at Mania for him to win and walk out with him. Actually, whether or not he walks out with him is a different story, but I think he will use it to help him win the match.
Do you think, out of interest, sorry to
No,
crop in
please
here.
do.
Do you think the favour, and this is where I think it's really interesting with Hunter, because you never quite know, even when you think you know, with his creative. Do you think that they've had Rollins set up this "I want a favour" only for it not to happen? Everyone will think that Heyman is coming into the night with Punk, and then all of a sudden the favour actually turns out that like Heyman hits one of them on the head with the title to screw them out of it, so that Seth can win.
There's no title, so they can't do that
But
either.
he'll hit him with something.
No, I think what's,
yes,
I think what's
that's
likely
the
to
point.
happen is Heyman will go out to the ring with Punk, like he's had to.
That's what I'm saying. But then he'll turn.
Much later in the
Yeah,
match.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like he'll hit one of them with like a chair, or he'll give one of them a chair.
I actually think that he'll end up hitting
Hit them with a shoe.
both. He'll screw Roman, and Punk will be all really happy, and then he'll screw Punk as well. And all of a sudden, you'll just see his little grin at the end of the match when Seth wins, and he's like,
Paul Heyman has turned on
and
Roman Reigns before. when he faced Brock
He's
Lesnar.
turned on so many people, which is why I'm convinced that he's going to turn and be with Seth. Plus, he's the only one in the match that hasn't been with Seth during his career.
True.
He's been with the other two.
And also-
He needs to go
Yeah.
and
And
be
also-
not even a because Seth doesn't need a manager, right? He just needs a different angle. He just needs a different story now, and having Paul there makes him so much less stale, and they can do so much with that.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm more than convinced that it will be Seth.
Also,
yeah.
adds another layer to the Roman Reigns Seth Rollins story.
Exactly.
Our next match is the now exciting match-ish between the Reign General Gunther and main event Jey Uso. 3, 2, 1, yeet. Screw you guys.
So basically, what we've just done to Ollie there is Mips and I have just gone no yeet at the same time. I will.
That's ageism against the grandfather.
Yeah, very much so. I'll kick this off. I think it's Jey. I know it's probably a bit controversial. Gunther's a star. He's just signed his new contract. He's just got his wild tour bus with it that he said that if you don't ask, you don't get.
Gunther-mobile.
Genius. Whilst I don't think Jey... There are issues obviously around Jey and is he the guy, isn't he the guy, what have you. I don't actually think Gunther needs the title coming out of Mania. And actually, I think, firstly, from a commercial point of view, obviously Jey makes sense. But also, I do think, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, I know that this feud has been a bit slow at times. I think he deserves it. Plain and simple, I actually just think, and I think he deserves it. And I actually think when you look at Hunter again and the way that he operates, it's not all just about the surprise factor with him as well. He pulled the trigger on Jey, and ultimately, I actually think that ultimately he is the guy that will pull the trigger on someone because they deserve it. And I think Vince all too often didn't do that. And I think that's where, he was just like, I want my guy in the most Vince McMahon way possible. Whereas Hunter's not quite the same. So I do see Jey somehow, some way, whether it's through Jimmy getting involved, I don't know. But I do see Jey winning it.
I concur. I think it's going to be Jey. I think this is very similarly on the lines of Kofi Mania. The guy is over, and first of all, how have has no one said Yeetlemania yet? Leading up to this show,
it will be when he wins. Let's be honest.
That's fair, but also that's a bit late. I already did it earlier. It's not fun.
It doesn't work now. You just ruined it.
You killed the bit.
I can yeet, as Jey said. I can yeet if I want to yeet, and then as Jimmy said, if he doesn't want to no yeet, he can no yeet.
But also, as we saw on Monday Raw, yeeting can sometimes kill the seriousness.
That is true.
But anyway, as you say, Gunther, at this point, he doesn't need the title. He's such a star that he can have a few people without the belt.
His rise has just been stratospheric.
And also the fact is
as well, he's unbelievable.
I
was not convinced at the start.
I've always been convinced.
Yeah, I love him as Walter.
He's amazing.
Even before he was in WWE.
Yeah, I saw some stuff in Germany and WXW.
So good.
Incredible.
And I feel like actually you could actually say Gunther's kind of carried this feud a little bit.
100%.
Of course.
And obviously the angle on Monday that took it to that level it needed. Not Monday just been. It needed that little bit of fire or blood.
The one thing I will say before we pass it over to EK to make his predictions, I know what you're saying about Gunther carrying it. I think with Jey, if Jey does win the title, he's already over, yes. But I think when Jey wins the title, I think that's when he becomes a star as well. And I do think that having that title will help him as well. And I think he's probably just suffering from the fact that, I was going to say he's had no title runs before. He may as well have had no title runs before because of that IC title reign being so short. I don't think that sort of stuff helps him. I think there's not enough around him necessarily for people to just understand that he is a star at the moment. Whereas as soon as you get that title, he becomes one. And I think it's very similar with Gunther in a way as well. I don't think... I know kind of you guys were. I don't think everyone was totally convinced of Gunther and who he was. Won the King of the Ring tournament, picked up the title, and I think look at what he's gone on to do since.
Yeah, but one issue Gunther did have was when they did the whole Gunther sad, it kind of killed the aura a little bit, but then they brought it back with this.
Definitely, he's a monster now. He's behemoth.
Even if he did look like Mr. Bean on Monday Night Raw, but yeah.
He's always been a monster. Look, I can't see anything past Jey winning. I think that the build is always pointed towards him. The fact that he's won, I can't see the. And I think the one thing that we're all looking past here is that Gunther only loses once a year, and it always seems to be in a big match at Mania.
True.
And I can't see him. It has to. It's so obvious. It has to go that way. The build. The only thing that I worry about is that when Jey does win, that there is a genuine kind of boredom with his title reign, as, in my opinion, there has been a bit with Cody Rhodes.
I don't think it needs to be a long title reign for Jey either, because I think he'll lose it by SummerSlam.
I think he could lose it in the rematch to Gunther. All he needs to do is win it.
I don't think they'll do a rematch.
I want Jey versus Jimmy first for that title. That would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
If that somehow happened again, that would be unbelievable.
Yeah, but they need to work the match better though.
Yeah, of course. But I think that their match at Mania 40 suffered for a number of reasons. We all know that there was issues with the cards, timing,
Superkickitis.
Exactly. Anyway, next match.
Yes.
What
Next
we're saying?
match,
Go on.
the final match that we know if it's going to be on night one, and it's probably one of the matches I'm least looking forward to on the card. It's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton taking on Charlotte for the women's title, and I'm going to kick off this time.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
Pace.
Go on, bro.
And I can't see past Tiffany taking this. Charlotte winning makes no sense. It does nothing for Charlotte if she gets a title. And it'll be another chapter in Charlotte wins lol. And Tiffy just came out so much better than the promo last week on SmackDown. Charlotte proved she couldn't handle it when the crowd were going against her. I mean, all this squeaky voice stuff and the random throwing of Ludwig's in my DMs. Shouting over Tiffany's music as she was playing as Tiffany was walking away. It's immature, and you could see that she was flustered. And Tiffany did the right thing. She realised she got a bit too far, got out the ring, ended the segment, and went. Tiffany needs this win to cement her now as being the head of that division. And yeah,
I love Tiffany. I don't think you can call Tiffany the head of that division.
No,
she's
not
got the
at all.
title on her. I don't think. I love her.
You know, not the face
I
of that division is what
her
I mean.
athleticism is stunning. She's not been a wrestler for long. She's only going to get better.
She's 25, I think.
She's younger.
No, she's 25 on the promo.
She's 25.
Oh, she's 25 now. I thought she was younger.
Yeah.
Oh, was she 22 when she started?
Yeah.
That's what I read. Yeah, she's athletically, she's stunning. She's very gifted as a wrestler. Tiffany, that is. I don't think she's quite ready to carry a brand yet, and I think probably, in my opinion, as much as I don't like Charlotte, I think that's where Charlotte will win the title, because I think whilst they transition to someone else, I think there'll be a round of main roster call-ups at some point as well from NXT with some really exciting talent from there. But in the interim, I do think someone like Charlotte coming back to head up the division, probably in WWE's eyes, not my eyes, but in WWE's eyes, makes sense. I, therefore, unsurprisingly, have gone for Charlotte. But I would love Tiffy to retain, but I do think that she has a few things she needs to work on. I think the promo segments she came out better on the second one, but you look at the joint interview where they had them side by side, she was I know she was sort of spoken over by Charlotte, but she really didn't come off of it very well. And if I had to criticise Tiffany for anything at the moment, it is her promo and mic skills. They're getting better. They're just not quite there. And I think at the moment she could probably do with just dropping the title a little bit, just working on that ever so slightly, and then coming back bigger and better. And that's not to take away from anything she's done. She's been brilliant. I've loved her title reign. As I say, I think she's fantastic. She is the future, or one of the futures of that division for sure. I think it's a very competitive one though. So I think probably on this occasion I'm going to go Charlotte.
I just think Charlotte win stunts Tiffany's momentum.
It does, but it wouldn't be the first time WWE have ever done it either. So
Look, unfortunately, I don't see past Charlotte winning. The problem is here, obviously I would rather Tiffany was to win. I love Tiffany. I think she's great. I think she's literally a breath of fresh air at times. And yeah, she's unreal. But I just don't see Charlotte not winning. Every time she's come back, she wins the title. Every time she's been in, she comes back.
It's become a running joke.
Yes, but it's going to keep happening. That's the thing. It's
to be
It's
fair to
Charlotte
her.
Flair. It's not going to not happen.
Also,
when hold on, you've had your time. When
Whoa!
am I wrong?
2 gins and he's firing. Oh, gins, I mean whiskey.
Yeah, oh my god, you're as well. No, look, let's think about it logically here. The problem is, Charlotte Flair, when she is the champion, she does raise everyone else's levels up because they want to beat her. It's the way that it works, and unfortunately her title reigns are long, but they're good. They're not bad because she does have good matches with people. She does bring people up and elevates them to a different level. Yes, she is a bit of a knob, and no one actually likes her backstage because she's not a nice person. However, she does still bring the division up, and I don't think at this time Tiffany has the capability to be able to do that, which is why, until she does, they will naturally go back to Charlotte. it's the only natural kind of way in order to get that.
I do agree, but also with Charlotte, one of the reasons as well I see her winning is when she did injure herself, which was awful. Obviously, exactly. She was up there near the top of the division anyway, and usually, not always. It doesn't always work out that way. But when you are, however many times champion as she is, and you are the daughter of Ric Flair, if you're injured and you're almost on top when you're injured, the likelihood is you're coming back, and you're coming back for the title. Whether you win it or not, certainly is up for debate, depending upon who you are. But when you've got someone of that caliber and they are coming back from an injury, I do just think from a company perspective, you're probably just going to put the belt back on them.
Yeah, just like when Becky Lynch comes back, eventually she will just go straight for the title. She's not going to go anywhere else.
Yeah, but in this case, I just see, to my mind, Tiffany needs this win.
No, I agree. She needs it, but I don't think she's going to get it yet.
100%.
Yeah. Also, controversially, I actually think that Tiffany character is much better if she's a heel than if she's a face.
I agree.
She gets on people's nerves a lot better.
I like heel
than
Tiffany.
Gets people to actually
I think what that comes down to is they can't script for her as a face, and also
they can't because her voice doesn't match what she's supposed to be saying.
They need to work. She needs to work with someone on how to get to do like a babyface cadence and get it to work on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on to the next match, which I'm going to read out,
which is the first no match for night 2.
Correct. It's the main event, isn't it? I believe it's
Cena versus Cody. Yes, main event. Yes,
it is. It's our
controversially. Doesn't main eventing night 1 count as main eventing Mania?
I know there was a debate about it. I know that KO recently spoke about it on Insight with CVV. He said that he thinks it is. Yes, indeed. Please get well soon, KO. You are amazing. I have mixed feelings on it. I think you are obviously main eventing a card on one night, but obviously when it is 2 nights. It's just not the go-home match, is it, right? Like, it is the go-home match for some people, but it's not the go-home match of the weekend, and I think that's probably where, that night 1 main event, I think people will take away from it a little bit.
If you look at like 40 last year, the main event of night 1 was the tag team match.
It was the setup to the main event too. It was like, it took a back seat, and I think that probably hasn't helped it as well.
Yeah.
But kicking off with predictions, listen, you all know me. I am a Cody crybaby to the end. But there is only one person I will not be a Cody crybaby for, and that is the man himself, the myth, the legend, the one that no one has ever seen before, despite the fact he'll hate us all for saying that. John Cena. He is, the love of my wrestling life. He will be the star forever.
And life.
No, just my wrestling life. I can't look past him, and he is up for debate whether he does it at Mania or not. There's a lot of debate. Does he do it at Mania? Does he do it at SummerSlam? Does he do it on this supposed Boston thing that they're planning for December 31st called Ruthless Aggression? Listen, if I had to wait till December 31st for him to come back as like Ruthless Aggression John Cena, win the title and leave the company permanently into retirement, I could do. However, can I see him losing at his final ever WrestleMania? I didn't think he'd lose, at the Rumble, and he did. That's the only thing that's putting a seed of doubt in my mind, but my gut says Cena's doing it. He will pick up the title. There will be a huge song dance about it, and that will be that for him, and he'll have a run probably. I don't even think it probably needs to last until December 31st. It might even just last till SummerSlam. I don't know. Maybe Survivor Series, but Cena.
I'm agreeing, going with Cena. It just makes sense to my mind. And you've got to factor in, the Rock and Travis Scott of it all. They obviously have.
Don't start me on Travis Scott in the ring
with his Sage in the corner. They'll probably he'll have some sort of effect on the match. But it just, for me, with this story, it makes sense for Cena to win, because then you could get the story of who takes Cena's last title.
No one. I genuinely think when he said it in the ring that he is going to retire and walk out the champion, I think if it lasts that long going into that final night, I'm not convinced it will, but if it does, I don't think he loses it. I think he will walk out as the champion, and I think he has the right to do so. I think that is how, traditionally, obviously, wrestlers drop the titles for obvious reasons, but usually that's because they're going to, they're not John Cena, right? They're just not. And I think if you're ever going to have a wrestler to walk out as champion and retire as champion, if he goes into that night, into that pay-per-view as the champ, I think he is the man to walk out with the title.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
The last real champion.
Yeah, and it has all been hinted in the promos. And as much as he said it's not going to happen, I want one more spinner belt. It's just something that
They might do it. They might do it at a Saturday Night Main Event or something where they brought the Winged Eagle out, and I appreciate that's obviously themed way further back and it's more traditional than that. But if they've already brought out one retro belt, Hunter's shown that he's not scared to do it. I think it's possible.
Honestly, they did title matches with Cena versus Orton, going against all these old foes. Cena versus Punk.
Randy's the only person. If anyone's going to take him out of Ruthless Aggression,
Yes,
certainly Randy is the one that I think retires him.
Yes.
I don't think it's Punk. I think it has to be Randy out of everyone.
controversially, Logan Paul.
No, never. On that note, EK, prediction.
Now, I'm going to completely disagree with both of you, which is a first for this.
No,
episode.
no.
Are you
Let's
about
start.
to turn yourself into a Cody crybaby?
Yes, and considering the
Whilst you're wearing a John Cena top,
I-
This is
shorts,
very conflicting.
a headband and a wristband.
Headband off. Take the headband off.
It's all coming up. Hey, well, please don't strip them.
Oh, put the shirt back on. Put the shirt back on.
Please don't.
well,
Whoa, that's.
I have
that's
to. I
weird
have to
looking.
do something. Look,
Thank God this isn't a video podcast.
At this point, I'm leaving.
I'm convinced, okay, that when Cena does, or if Cena does win the title, that he will just leave and you won't see him again. Therefore, considering he is booked for multiple shows after Mania, up until his supposed retirement on December 31st, I don't think he's going to win it. If he does win it until the end, or he will have some form of a face turn and turn back to his normal self at some point.
One more
and
face
then,
turn.
and then go and win the title. That's why I think that Cody needs to win it more than Cena needs to win it at this moment in time.
Well, I think
Needs an interesting word.
I think he's
I
interesting.
think it cements him a lot more as a face if he goes and beats this version of John Cena, considering how much hate he's getting at the moment.
This is the one thing I will say about Cody, right? And in this match, I don't think Cody wins it because I think they need to drop the title to Cena at some point, and I think it probably makes sense to do it at Mania. However, I know I've just said that I think Randy should retire him, and I do believe that. If that's if there's no title on the line. If there is a title on the line, I could see it being Cody, and the reason I could see it being Cody is because what better way to just create your next big? And I know Cody's there already, and I know he's stratospheric already, but like if you want your next 20 plus year guy, what better way do you do it than you're the guy to take him out? I don't think it happens, but that is my only other consideration.
Right, now the next, the one more match cemented for night 2, and that's for the Raw Women's title, or whichever one that's called. I don't know what it's called now, but it's Iyo Sky.
World title.
Yes, the Women's World title. So it's Iyo Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, and I've gone with Iyo Sky. She gets to get a decent win at Mania. She came win the title last year, lost it to Bayley. This, I think, is her year. And the story, and how only been shown in the ring and the promos, tells me that most of the match, Rhea and Bianca will focus on themselves, occasionally take out Iyo, forget she's there, and that's when Iyo strikes, gets the win. That's been the whole story each time of they've been disregarding her, disrespecting her, even though she's the one that's got the belt, and she's left them lying most times, apart from the one time that Rhea did it. Most times when Iyo's had the final say. And I think this will be, if she wins, this will cement her as one of the main players on Raw.
Do you see Dakota getting involved? Because it's a triple threat. Out of interest.
Could be, but I don't think it needs it.
I don't think it needs it, but I do wonder if Dakota does get involved at some point.
I don't think she does. I mean, I
I could see Naomi getting involved.
no.
No, there should be...
Not
Taking out
yet.
Bianca.
No,
right?
I don't
Not
think
yet.
so. Because
If she gets involved, I think she screws Bianca rather than helps.
That's what I said. Takes out Bianca.
I think it all depends on where Naomi versus Jade Cargill is on the
Oh, yeah, that's
card.
true. If it's night 1, then it works. But
Yeah, exactly. It depends if it's night
I agree
1,
with you.
night 2.
I also think Iyo Sky wins, but mainly just because of the fact that I think she needs it more than the other two. She needs to keep her title on going, and if she drops it to one of the others, it's just pointless.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And actually, to be honest, for the first time tonight, I'm not going to disagree. And we're all in agreement.
Brilliant.
I think
Wow.
Iyo wins it. I don't care for this Bianca Belair. I think she needs something new. I think she needs to go back to heel like she was in NXT. Rhea is, I have to be honest, she's boring me now. And I just think it makes sense to keep Iyo on top. She's funny. She has a way of the crowd. They like her. As you guys rightly point out, this whole, we're just ignoring her, we're looking past her because she's smaller and, she's, I hate to say it, she's the non-American one, but, I
Rhea's
think...
Australian.
I know, but Rhea, let's be honest, she's been there for long enough and she speaks the language a lot better. Like, I do think that, you know how WWE are when they play...
do speak English, but yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you know how WWE... you know how WWE are where they pit kind of like non-English speaking people against English people and it's, kind of the Western world versus the non-Western
I'm
world.
not from here.
Exactly. So, I do see... I do see them overlooking her for that reason, but actually, I do think Iyo wins it.
Cool.
Before we go on to the other matches, I want to just bring up a thought that I've had. Obviously, we had KO versus Randy Orton was supposed to be a match. Do we think there could be a Randy Orton open challenge spot where they could bring back someone like an Aleister Black or Rusev just to do something with Randy on the card?
Yes. And I think it is going to be Malachi Black.
There's Aleister Black.
Whatever he wants to be called.
Mr. Black.
He can literally just, anything. Okay. I think they do, and I think it will be with him because everything's teasing him to come back anyway. So he's ready. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah,
and I think it actually makes it bigger if he comes back at Mania. And Randy's the only one that can take a loss and not look bad.
And it would make.
I wholeheartedly agree. I agree.
I hope they do.
Next match is a fun one. It's not
fun in a sense of
it's fun depending upon who you are. For me, it's the one that I care least about. I have to say on the night
because there's been barely any good build for it. That's why.
But also, it's just
there's one part of the build that does intrigue me. And I will talk about it in a second.
I just don't give a toss about Logan Paul. To be honest,
I'll kick off then.
So we've got Logan Paul versus AJ Styles.
I'm going to go with AJ Styles beating Logan Paul because the whole story about this has been Karen Cross saying, I want the old AJ back. This isn't AJ. And this can go one of two ways. Either Logan Paul beats AJ and it spins off into AJ versus Karen Cross, or AJ wins, but with the help of Karen Cross, and you still get an AJ Karen Cross feud with that. Because the seems to be this weird mirroring thing, because he has hair like AJ Styles, and there's definitely something more to that going on there. I'm sticking with AJ just because I don't want Logan Paul to win, to be perfectly honest. I do see a world where Logan Paul wins, but I don't want to be in that world.
I disagree with you. I think Logan Paul will win, completely for the other reasons that the opposite reasons that you've said. I think Karen Cross comes out and screws AJ Styles.
I did say that was a possibility.
And Logan Paul does win because of that. Plus, I think he's done a lot of good work. He is actually, unfortunately, really good in the ring, which is a pain to say out loud.
Yes.
And I think this is going to be a sleeper match. I think this will be a very, very good match, actually.
AJ had the match with LA last year. It was a sleeper match.
It's going to be a good one.
I don't think AJ Styles has bad matches.
He can't. He can't have a bad match.
He's phenomenal.
Nice, very nice. I just think Logan Paul wins this one, and I think he's actually due a win at Mania.
Yeah,
fair. I have to say, first and foremost, before I go into my prediction,
did he win the triple threat with Randy and KO though? And the United States title, didn't he win that?
Was that a Mania?
That was a Mania because he had KO came out in a little car, and he came back and picked up Randy, and they went down to the ring. It was last year. I think Logan Paul won that via shenanigans because you had to ISO speed in the bottle.
Oh yeah.
In any case,
still true.
Before I give my prediction,
it's a big win.
The first thing I want to say is on Karrion Kross. Actually, I had not been sold on him, and I don't think a lot of people have, and I really worry for him because I do think, watching AOP and Paul Ellering get cut. Obviously, Scarlett wasn't around for a couple of weeks. I know she was back recently. I worry for him. He might be on that cut line a little bit. However, The one thing I will say is I think he's been phenomenal, and I actually think that Karrion Kross is becoming a real. He's carving out a sort of. I was going to say a star. I don't think necessarily a star, but he's carving out a real niche for himself in this role on the mid card
kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think it's really clever. Like the recent stuff that was revealed by I was going to say insights by CVV, but I actually saw it from someone before that on X. Before that. Where they revealed about his hair and matching his hairstyles, etc. And I was reading about Karrion Kross talking about when he was on NXT and his hair was buzzed and he was just running through people. I think he's just amazing, to be honest, and I think he's a really, really good talker. And I would love to see him get his flowers and get his dues eventually. However, in terms of the actual match, I've got AJ Styles. Logan's, as you guys have said, for all the shit outside the ring, he's a horrible human being. He's a terrible human being, but he's very good in the ring. That being said, I just can't look past AJ.
Yep. Next match is the one match where we don't firmly have the full people in the match, because it's Liv and Raquel versus the winners of tonight's gauntlet match. And I can't actually remember the names of all the participants, but the ones I've gone with the Secret Service of Alba Fire and Piper Niven.
Can I just say, I did not ever expect to say this in my life. I am the biggest Chelsea Green stan. I love that woman. That woman is amazing. She is funny. She is talented. She is athletic. She can take bumps that I don't think really most of the other women can take. I think she can take bumps more than most men can take. I mean, the stunt, the spot of her going through that table off the ladder the way that she did. My God, when we all thought, I believe it was Money in the Bank, wasn't it?
Yeah, Money in the Bank.
Thought she was going to win Money in the Bank at that point.
Look at the dumpster match.
She's amazing. The dumpster match. She's so good. And also, just not to make anyone jealous, but she did like my comment on Instagram.
Yes.
So there's that as well. That being said, I've actually gone for Lyra and Bayley. Now, I know that sounds strange, given that Lyra has the IC title and there is potential that they could fall out tonight, and that could be a match on the card with the women's IC title. However, I weirdly can just see them do it. Like, WWE does this thing sometimes over the years where they just randomly put two people together and they make it work. I mean, even if you look at NXT at the moment, you've got Sol Ruka and Zarya together, which you would just never expect, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think even like the three girls in Fatal Influence probably wouldn't have expected them to come together at any point. This weird new Dark State group that they've got on NXT as well.
That's grown
they just have this niche and way of finding these weird tag teams to kind of come together. And, they've never been afraid of having a double champ of both a singles and a tag title as well. And I think Lyra and Bayley are great. So, I don't know. Maybe I just gut kind of says that they'll at least be the ones to make the match. Whether they win it or not, I'm not sure. I would love the Secret Service, obviously. Give Chelsea everything as part of her group.
Because I could see Chelsea interfering in that. And then you have the draft after Mania. You can then send Liv to SmackDown. Chelsea versus Liv.
That'd be brilliant. EK, over to you, my friend.
Just a side point on that. Tag teams that shouldn't have worked that do work. Fraxium.
Yes,
agreed. No one saw that coming. And
how it took them that long to actually put the intellectual property in for the name Fraxium.
I know.
Yeah, because it wasn't their name, and then it was like everyone was calling them that, and they were like, maybe we should actually just quickly copyright that. Well,
just look at how good they're arguably the best tag team in the world, in my opinion, at the moment.
They were voted on a lot of polls.
So
best tag team for last year.
Together, they are
The only thing I will say on them, before you make your prediction here, their match this week against Swipe Right, who have come up from Evolve, I was not expecting much from Swipe Right.
No, they were very good.
I have to say, they were fucking brilliant.
I need to actually rewatch this match.
I really enjoyed it.
Half an hour in the morning, I need to rewatch it.
Both Swipe Right look like 12-year-old children.
But they look like they will be stars.
They will, yeah. They're really young.
One of them's about 20, I think it said.
Yeah. Well,
22.
Well, they look
it. But they were really, really good on that one. But anyway, we digress.
They just look like, unfortunately, a better Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, but they're not English. They've not got the accent.
Doesn't matter. No, but in the same
kind and I haven't got the fashion.
In terms of how
true, in the presentation, that's
quite similar.
Yeah, boy.
Right. Look, before we get sidetracked again, and this goes on for even longer than it needs to, my pick, I don't think it matters who goes in, who wins the gauntlet match. I still think that Liv and Raquel will retain.
Fair.
Solid pick. I can't see anyone else winning, unfortunately. I don't like them. I just don't think there's a better tag team out there right now. So yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Go
Next
on.
match is another match I think could be a sleeper hit. The Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre versus Emo Taker Damien Priest.
Emo Taker.
Oh, sorry, it was Timu Taker. Sorry, because I heard Emo Taker online. I had a lot of people putting in the Emo Taker online. I prefer Timu Taker though. I've gone with this one. I've gone with Drew McIntyre. Much as Damien, I'd like Damien. Drew needs to stop racking up wins, and I think he needs to. With this match, then he can then go on. Maybe he faces had a little thing going on with Cena. Because then I don't know, they're both heels. I don't know, but it's interesting to see where they would go with that.
I think we're probably all going to be aligned on this one. I've gone for Drew as well. I'm going to keep it very simple. Priest has had his time this year. He did well with it. Last year rather as champion, he did well with it. But he doesn't need to win it. Drew needs it. They want to supposedly build Drew up back as a star this year. Drew's the main event player. Realistically, Priest probably is upper mid card at best. Probably for me, he's probably lower mid card. So I just think in terms of the match and the sensibility, Drew.
Yeah, I agree with both. I don't think there's anyone else winning other than Drew McIntyre. I don't think if Priest wins it, I think we're right. To be honest with you, it makes no bloody sense. And Drew needs to be built like an absolute monster now. So
Scottish Psychopath. Let's bring him back as it.
That was it. Scottish Psychopath. That was it. And next, you've got LA Knight.
Yeah.
Versus Jacob Fatu. And I've got to go with my guy, the Samoan man with Jacob Fatu.
When you wearing his t-shirt.
And I am wearing his t-shirt. I did buy when we went to DO2. And
you didn't catch that, did you? You didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that was the t-shirt. You just thought it was a random werewolf.
No, I was saying it's interesting that he thinks that he's going to win.
It just feels like
I know what that
the story that could you mind? Can you show some respect to the grandfather? Respect your elders.
Oh, shut up. Get on with it.
All right, get your walking stick and walk off.
This is sometimes
I feel like I need
grumpy, don't you?
Yeah,
this is proof that old people are indeed grumpy.
Yes, I think we're going grey by the time we get it.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu is on a meteoric rise. I think he needs this belt to be really good, and he can go to a little story with Solo where he can be like, I've got this. You did. You put me forward for it when you had the chance to go for the tournament. You didn't. You put me for it. You cannot win. I'm winning. And also stuff with Braun Strowman is great. And the only way I could see potentially LA Knight winning is if Solo interferes and screws over Jacob.
Right, I can't see anything past my boy LA Knight. Yeah! Sorry, I literally can't say his name without doing it. However, I don't see him winning it clean. I see Solo and Tama coming out. Tama Tonga will get taken out by LA Knight. Solo Sikoa will try and screw LA Knight, but inadvertently end up screwing Jacob Fatu, going in, and LA Knight will then probably do a roll up and win. I don't think it's going to be very, very clean. And that will set up for a Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu rivalry in the long run, because the argument will be, you screwed me over, I didn't need you out there, I was going to win without you. Why'd you come out? Exactly.
Interesting. This was the prediction that I made that I think I was least confident on. I've gone for Mips's boy, LA Knight.
Yeah!
I do agree.
I'm allergic not to say.
Can we just say, for the benefit of all of you listening, LA Knight, the cutout, the
life-size
cutout, the official mascot of the WoW podcast, is currently standing right behind Elliot, and his eyes are looking at me, and he's judging me. I think he's judging me for saying Jacob Fatu. What I say to you is,
and if you look behind you, he's also judging.
Suck it. Right, carry on.
I do think LA wins it. I agree with you, EK. I think Solo will come out. I think he will try to screw LA. I think he will inadvertently screw Jacob. They have obviously hinted very heavily on the with you or without you kind of thing in the promo with Tama and Solo and Jacob. I don't think Jacob needs the title to take on Solo in a feud. I genuinely think there will be interest outside of it. So I just think LA can probably keep the title. Jacob will come out of it not looking any worse. If Solo does screw him, it doesn't hurt him. It also does then mean towards SummerSlam, if they do want a title match for it, they can have a rematch, etc. So for me, LA's
there is one other factor to this match that people are forgetting, and that is Tonga Loa is due to come back from his injury.
Thinking this.
What if so he managed to LA Knight managed to get rid of Solo, and Tonga Loa is the one that screwed LA Knight, or
I think it would be interesting. I think it would be interesting to have.
You could have age to Tonga Loa that he's missed.
You could have, realistically, you could potentially have Tonga Loa comes back, aligns himself with Jacob, and you have Jacob and Tonga versus Tama and.
Can we not
Solo.
call him his rightful name? Botcha Loa.
Yeah, fair.
Next match is speaking of botch. Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Speaking of nice.
I have a really probably different opinion on this to I think what you two are going to go for, and I think what we should all exercise caution here, and we should not underestimate Naomi in this match. The reason being, I don't particularly like her. I think never have really, particularly in any of her facets of characters. But what I will say is, despite all the god-awful acting with the terrible tears recently, the promo that they aired during SmackDown in London of Naomi, the pre-rec promo, was probably the best work I've seen her do in WWE to date. I think she is unpredictable, and actually I think that she probably would benefit from the win, and I don't think it does necessarily too much harm for Jade, because you've still got an angle of Jade versus Bianca as well, versus Naomi as well. There's still stuff you can do with them, so I don't think the overall result necessarily matters, but I think it matters more for Naomi to come out this with a win than it probably does Jade, who is still that big, strong future of the company, whereas Naomi, it's almost like her time is probably now, kind of thing, if you want to excuse the John Cena quote. EK.
I think you're wrong. And I have there is some logic there, actually, to be fair. Unlike some of my other opinions, there is a lot of logic to this one. I think they bring Jade back now, which they've obviously done, and she's going to genuinely destroy Naomi at Mania. Maybe
When you say destroy, do you think like literally like a 5 second, 1 minute match? Like
no, I think
3 hits in the Jade and then she's done.
Yeah, it could be.
It
could be a complete squash match, or it's going to go on for a bit of time, but she'll still win very, very convincingly and take her time. I don't think it'll be squash, but she'll take her time with Naomi and she'll beat her within probably 10 minutes.
The only way I think this match becomes super, super interesting from that front is if Bianca also wins the title.
No.
Because that adds another element.
So, this is what I think.
I know, but in terms of them as a trio, I think that does make.
I don't think it makes any. I think they're done with that, to be honest with you, for a bit of time, because I think what actually is going to happen.
I disagree.
Charlotte will win at Mania. They've already foreshadowed a Charlotte versus Jade.
I think that's what the plan before Charlotte got injured. Last year.
No, but they've already done that this time since she's been back. Do you know?
They did. Yes, I remember they edited the walk. Yeah.
So what's going to happen is Jade will win. Charlotte will win at Mania. The Mania after, the week after Mania on SmackDown, Charlotte will come out and be, I want, and all of a sudden, Jade will come out, and they'll start a rivalry from that.
Could do that, yeah.
And I don't think they can do it unless Jade wins at Mania.
I'm actually going with...
Is done. Over to you, my man, Grandpa.
I'm actually siding with JC here. I've gone with
Naomi. Of course you are, because I have elite opinions.
No, but I think if you want this Naomi heel turn to make sense, you need to have her win.
Yeah, of course you do.
Again, that promo was just awesome. And
I don't think she needs to win.
She does. She needs to win.
I think she needs
to win. And I think it would then solidify her as his heel. But also, again, it gives her a Mania rub. It gives her that,
I just can't see I can't see a logical reason why she would genuinely beat Jade.
But the thing is, I don't think it'll be a clean finish, though. It won't be a clean finish.
Oh, no, not clean at all.
No.
I see Naomi as using this run, whether or not she wins or loses, she'll look good, again, even if she loses, and then potentially going on and having a kind of mid-card run against a very liked Chelsea Green.
Right, I'm going to exercise caution and shut you up. And the next match is the Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. It's Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus
Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic Mysterio.
Now Jay-Z is
my boy
Big Dirty Dom is winning. I can't fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait because it's going to be amazing. Dom is going to win. He's going to feud with Finn. It's going to be fucking amazing. Dom, do you know what? I was never sold on him, but over the last sort of few, he's the only person I've ever seen turn heel when he was already heel, which I know he said as well. But also, he was right recently when he said it gets to a point where they hate you so much they have to love you. And I don't know anyone, probably anyone on that roster more deserving of picking up gold at the moment. He has been fucking phenomenal from start to finish in the last few years. Obviously, it wasn't great when he came in, but since he joined the Judgment Day, he's kicked it up a gear. His work with Liv has been nothing short of amazing. They've obviously teased the Finn versus Dom thing. I think it's big enough to have a title around it. So in my opinion, Dom, I think it makes more sense to put the title on Dom than Finn if they're going to do that feud for it. The reason being, obviously, Dom not necessarily holding gold in the same way before. And it's a nice kind of little redemption arc for Finn when they do eventually split and go their ways. So for me, Dom.
I'm going with Dom as well. Pretty much the same sort of reasons. He deserves it. And they've done so much foreshadowing of Dom winning that title. I mean, recreating the shot of Eddie with the title.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. But even the way that Dom had to act to pull the image off.
Yes.
Amazing.
And also, the other people in the match. Braun can lose his match and go into the main event scene. Penta, he's just joined. He's got time.
And he'll align himself with Rey Fenix, essentially.
And then you got Finn. I think it would be more interesting to see him be the one to then take the belt off of Dom, making Finn super heel at that point, because Dom will become super face. And also, you've got the Liv factor, the Yoko Ono Liv factor. She's the one that kind of... No, she's really Yoko Ono. She's the one going to Dom behind her back. Are you going to have it? He's saying that he won the match. Are you going to be... Why don't you should have the match? And it's little stuff like that. And I think it's really cleverly done in that he's maybe too shy to stand up to Finn and say, no, we won this. But having a little live in his ear, you know.
But also with the Demon Finn briefcase recently showing up in the clubhouse a few times, how fucking cool would it be if Dom does pick up the title and then when we get to something like Survivor Series or SummerSlam, whatever it might be, Finn versus Dom, face Finn comes back as the Demon. That would be
my problem is, I feel like the Demon's lost its mystique. They need to do something to make that Demon mean something.
It's not brought out for years, I think it will do.
It was a couple of years ago. He was Demon Finn when he lost.
But that's
Edge.
why I think they bring it back. It's been a few years, and but it foreshadows obviously previous issues with the Judgment Day, like him wearing it and then losing to Edge as part of that. I really, really could see it.
Or it ends up in a custody of Carlito match.
That would be hysterical.
Don't think that's going to happen.
Foreshadowing. Custody of Dominic match.
Fair.
Right, so I think you're both wrong. This was actually the one that I took a bit of time to think about.
And you still came up with the wrong answer.
No, I don't think I did. I am of the opinion that Bron Breakker actually retains. And there is actually a reason for this. So I think what's likely to happen...
Mad?
No. I think
that you're drunk?
Shush. Both, please. Respect. I let you speak for the last 3 minutes about this subject.
Did you just say 3 minutes?
Nice. So I think Bron Breakker retains, and I think what's going to happen is you'll have Finn will take out Penta and be about to win. Dom is the one that screws him and pulls him off the cover, and they're going, you know, not fighting, but they're arguing because they haven't fought the whole match. And all of a sudden, Bron Breakker on the outside of the ring comes out, spears them both, and probably pins Dom. Unfortunately,
single or double spear. Are you saying he's going to spear them both at the same time?
He can do it.
That spear Monday night with Carlito.
I'm controversial. I did not like that spear. And the reason I didn't like that spear is I did not like the way he flipped over. For me, it came across more a bit of a botch to me. No, it wasn't. No. I did not like it.
Well, it was momentum. He flipped over and without missing a beat and stood up.
It looked too much like Moose.
It was a bit weird for me.
Well,
it wasn't great.
Whatever you guys say, my opinion is that Bron Breakker retains and then carries on his monster run as Intercontinental Champion before eventually going on to main event.
Next up, it's clearly going to be the match of the weekend. It's Deadbeat Dad Rey Mysterio versus the living legend from the Gulf of America, El Grande Americano.
Can I just point out, please, it's
so
not the
funny.
Gulf of America. It's quite clearly the Gulf of Mexico.
I know, I'm
We
just
don't
playing
believe
along,
in
I'm
Trump.
playing along with the game.
No, I know. Before
Yeah.
anyone gets the wrong point.
So-
Also, to be honest, there's only one winner here, isn't
El
there?
Grande Americano.
Exactly. And EK will come on to his shit prediction in a minute, but El Grande Americano is the one for us both. I think we're both aligned on this.
Yes.
Chad Gable, I don't particularly like.
That's not Chad, that's El Grande Americano.
Of course
That's not
it is.
Chad.
Of
Chad
course it
is
is.
sick. It's not Chad.
Of course it is.
Chad's had the sniffles for a long
I
time.
don't, look.
I'm
I'm not.
got hay fever like me. You know.
Can I say-
He needs to replace his nostrils.
Can I say?
Silencio. Let's.
I am not. You see, I don't shout at you two about respect. You see, because I actually have respect for you both.
But do you hustle? Do you have loyalty?
Indeed, I do. Do you know what?
Look, I'm going to do what your top says and rise above hate.
Yeah, fair enough.
I got you there.
Chad Gable's a really interesting one for me, right? Because he has made a lot of just utter shit that he's been given. Things like when Baron Corbin ended up coining him with the Shorty G, I called him Shorty Gable first, and then it went to Shorty G. He's put up with a lot of shit, but actually, he just makes it work. And I actually think this El Grande Americano solution to his luchador problem is
Gracias.
hysterical.
Yes.
So for me, given the way that they've just built it up as well, the way that the crowd has taken to it, and they have, for me, it's El Grande Americano. As much as I love Ray, I do think, he is obviously fading out a bit. It's time, and I'm not saying that Chad Gable being a luchador is the way forward, but I do think they're going to start putting other luchadors over him, and so therefore it makes sense to have him beaten by, quote unquote, and I'm using air quotes here, a luchador.
And the only way that I think they would have had Ray go over is if it was Mask v Mask.
Yes, I agree, and that's just not going to happen.
Lucha de Apuestas,
obvious
if
reasons.
you're-
Well, I actually think what's going to happen is I do think that I think Ray will actually cheat to win.
You think he's going to go heel?
No, but I think that he'll do something which is seen as cheating, even though obviously it's Rey Mysterio, so it's not. Even a roll up or something, and all of a sudden,
It is the year of the roll up.
Yeah, but when is roll up cheating though? I want to clarify. Roll up is not
he'll
cheating.
using the tights with the
Tights or
roll
the
up.
rope?
Tights.
Fair.
And I think that what's going to happen is afterwards there'll be a bit of a kerfuffle, and he will eventually take the mask off El Grande Americano and reveal that it's actually Chad Gable all along, and it'll be like this kind of, oh my god, it's Chad Gable, what the fuck?
But controversially, if Chad Gable wins, what if he then just rips off the mask and then just says, I've solved my lucha?
Thank you.
I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to carry it on.
Something tells me that when they eventually
unmask.
unmask it, it's not going to be Chad. They'll debut someone else. Yeah.
No, I don't.
And the last match, finally the last match, and it's the tag title match that I didn't want on the card. It's the War Raiders, sorry, I need to use the old name.
War Raiders!
War! Raw is war! Versus the New Day and
Well, it's not the New Day anymore.
New Day.
New Day. Because Big E was just one arsehole, sat behind the desk, didn't go and help his friends. I mean, come on. Clearly, the New Day are going to win.
If you could see the evils I'm giving the grandfather right now.
I'm playing up to the kayfabe. I'm having fun.
some-
Let me have fun in my old age.
Look,
New Day are winning. It's the way the storyline's going. Where we got there isn't pretty. I would much rather have seen the SmackDown title because that scene has been immense.
I think we still will. I think it's going to be the last match that will be announced. I think it might be announced from SmackDown. I think that there's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle, and all of a sudden Nick will just come out and be like, you know what, you want to fight at Mania.
That's going to be a lot of multi-people
think's
matches then.
If that is the case, then I think that probably Street Profits will probably still win,
fair.
and I think Los Garza will take the pin.
Look,
They're rubbish.
But
They're so bad.
but there is that part. There is that part. of me that wants to see
Anything
Pretty
to
Deadly.
do with Santos.
100%, I'd love Pretty Deadly.
I mean, I was gutted when they lost in London.
Anything.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
still stuck on Santos Escobar. Anything to do with him and
Santos
Legado.
I know.
Escobar.
Oh, anything to do with him or
He has
Legado
so much
Tel
potential,
Fantasma.
and it's just-
all wrong at the moment. Yes, exactly. He's got potential, but it's just all wrong at the moment. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
anything.
He's like the
to do.
anti-carrying cross.
It's terrible to me.
Well, look, but back to the match that is now on the card at this point in time. I'm also going with the New Day. I think that unfortunately the Viking Raiders have gone a bit
War
stale.
Raiders, mate, War Raiders.
Whatever, exactly. The War Raiders have gone a bit stale, and I think they're a bit boring. And I think that the New Day is actually getting a lot of hate right now, and they will take the charge to the next level that
Yeah.
it needs to get to.
So I think, look, I love the War Raiders. Unlike you, I don't think
I like
stale.
them.
I don't think they're
boring.
stale.
They need
but
something else.
I do think that the Raw tag division has suffered from a lack of defending
Teams.
of the titles and teams. I think the SmackDown titles are in a bit of a better position. However, I will say I'm starting to get a bit bored of sort of those main sort of three teams being DIY, Street Profits, and MCMG. I do think, therefore, as you guys have pointed out on the SmackDown side of things, it would benefit from someone like a Pretty Deadly. In terms of the Raw match, I love the War Raiders.
We've all done it now. We've all done it now.
Literally.
We've had the Viking experience.
I do love the War Raiders. I really do. But I can't look past the New Day. They're obviously in their 10th anniversary year. They're trying to erase Big E. I understand why. It doesn't look like Big E's going to be back anytime soon. It makes sense. Give them a fresh start. Give them the titles. Let them go from there. Also, they fucking deserve it. They're just the best.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that is our WrestleMania
Very long
predictions. It is a bit long. We are hovering around the hour mark, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much. Please remember you can find us on socials. I believe that our Twitter is
It's been a while.
It has been a while. Our Twitter is WO Wrestles. You can also find us on Instagram at some point, but we need to relaunch that, so let's not worry about that for now.
Maybe we'll eventually get onto Blue Sky.
Wrestling.
I think it's WoW Wrestling.
Might eventually get onto Blue Sky.
Exactly, but for now, we just want to say thank you very much. It's great to be back, and
Can
hopefully
I
the
find
first
some
of many more.
MySpace?
Yes.
No.
And also, if anyone wants to also send their predictions before Mania as well, please also do, and we can try and see if
drop
anyone
them
else
across on
was
X.
as
Yeah,
right as we are.
tweet us.
Anyone remember the email address?
I do. I have because I've been using it. It's wowwrestling24@gmail.com.
And
Do you mean WO Wrestling?
Yes, WO Wrestling. Sorry, yes.
Thank you.
And on that note,
WO
thanks, guys.
Let me just do that again. WO Wrestling24@gmail.com.
And on that note, thank you guys for listening. It's been a pleasure.
Peace.